Hi, my name is Vivian and welcome. Today we're going to talk about how the character Jay Gatsby from the story The Great Gatsby goes through a negative character arc, specifically the fall arc. The story The Great Gatsby was written by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Today we are going to be referencing the movie, the 2013 movie specifically, in our analysis. The movie is very similar to the book. According to K.M. Weiland, a character going through a fall arc believes a lie, rejects the truth, their belief in the lie becomes stronger, or they embrace a new but worse lie. So what is Jay Gatsby's lie? His lie is he has to be rich and popular to receive love and acceptance from Daisy and others. What is the truth? The truth is Jay has to let Daisy go and value himself for who he is without the wealth and popularity. In a negative arc, the lie is about something the main character devalues. Here, Gatsby devalues his wealth. He throws lavish parties that he doesn't really care much about, and he's involved in criminal activity to gain the wealth. He doesn't value himself because he allows himself to be used. Every weekend, people come to his house to party and they trash his place. They like him for his wealth and popularity, but most of the partygoers have never seen Gatsby before. He is a mystery. They make up stories about him and aren't interested in getting to know the real him. They only care about what he offers. There will be one thing that is objectively good in the character's life that your character will take for granted. And in Jay's case, that is his friendship with Nick Carraway. The character will sacrifice this one good thing to pursue the lie. Jay puts Nick in a compromising situation when he asks Nick to invite his cousin Daisy over for tea. That is when the affair between Jay and Daisy begin and Nick is caught in the middle of it. What is Jay Gatsby's ghost? A character's ghost is an event in your character's past that has influenced the way your character navigates the world in the present. So Jay Gatsby's ghost is his upbringing. He was extremely poor when growing up and he wanted more for himself. He has a grandiose image of himself and he always strives to live up to it. The characteristic moment is to introduce the character's true self and personality. When we meet Gatsby, he's a friendly guy, hospitable, and inviting. Gatsby is always seeking validation and cares about how people perceive him. He barely knows Nick, but he asks him what is his opinion of him. And before he asks that question, he shows off his card. This is one of the ways the lie he believes is reaffirmed. His wealth, possessions, and popularity make him feel accepted, which in turn makes him feel loved. Gatsby is the man of the town. He's able to get out of trouble with the cops, and he has the commissioner and other powerful people in his pocket. This shows a dark nature to Gatsby, which reveals to the audience that Gatsby is corrupt. What would happen if Gatsby continues to pursue the lie he believes? If Gatsby pursues the lie, it will affect his friendship with Nick, and affect Nick's relationship with his cousin Daisy, and it will affect Daisy's relationship with her husband, and Gatsby will never learn how to love and accept himself. Jay finally asks Nick to invite Daisy for tea at his place. Nick believes Jay is a cool guy, so he agrees. Daisy and Jay reunite and their affair begins. Gatsby shows off his possessions, his house. He desperately wants to impress Daisy and he craves for her love. But the affair wasn't enough. Gatsby wants Daisy to be a part of his life permanently. For years, Jay has had an image of what life will be like with him and Daisy, and he's obsessed with this dream. Daisy and her husband Tom finally attend one of Gatsby's lavish parties, and Gatsby introduces them to important people, which kind of makes Tom insecure. But are Gatsby's gestures winning Daisy over? Gatsby has his doubts and he expresses this extreme frustration because everything he has gained, he has done it for her. And if there is anything she doesn't like, he will change it immediately. No questions asked. This is how desperately he wants Daisy's love and acceptance. He hopes if they can just go back to where they were 5 years ago and start from there, then them being together will become a reality. Jay expresses this frustration to Nick after Daisy leaves the party. In a fall arc, the midpoint is where the truth is blatantly presented to the character. Throughout the story, the protagonist is so occupied with achieving their goal that they are blind to the truth. The midpoint is the character's chance to hear the truth and accept it. But the protagonist will reject the truth, will fall deeply into the morass of their sins, usually dragging others along with them. Nick offers Jay the truth. He says, "You cannot repeat the past." Jay says, "Of course you can." Nick is indirectly telling Jay to let Daisy go, and Jay refuses to listen. After the midpoint, the character will actively and aggressively move towards their goal because the character is growing desperate. In this case, Gatsby abruptly stops the parties. Daisy visits his mansion discreetly and their affair continues. Jay wants Daisy to love and accept him. If the lavish parties aren't working, well, she can come over discreetly and we can be together. Maybe then she'll see that I'm willing to do anything for her. Jay calls up Nick, ring ring, and invites Nick to lunch over at Daisy's, where Daisy will tell Tom that she never loved him and that she is leaving him for Jay. And it was Jay that she has loved all along. At the lunch, Daisy gets nervous and instead of saying what her and Jay agreed upon, she suggests that they go into town. But as the tension in the scene increases, Daisy finally admits that she loves both Tom and Jay, and that Gatsby is asking too much of her to lie that she has never loved Tom. Tom confronts Jay and reveals that he gets his wealth from bootlegging alcohol, which at that time, alcohol was illegal in the United States. Daisy's decision to go away with Gatsby wavers after she finds out what he actually does for a living, because that won't serve Daisy's interests. She can't afford to risk her livelihood on a man that is rich, yes, but also a criminal. Her husband comes from old money, and her child's well-being are taken care of. Daisy and Jay drive home in Gatsby's car. There's a terrible accident that involves Myrtle, Tom's mistress, and she is killed in this car accident. George, Myrtle's husband, finds out that it was Gatsby's car that killed his wife. Nick, Jordan, and Tom get back to the mansion from New York City, and Nick is disgusted. Nick finds Jay hiding in Daisy and Tom's garden. Jay says he's making sure that Tom doesn't hurt Daisy, and he tells Nick the truth that it was Daisy who was driving his car, not Jay. But he is willing to take the blame in order to protect Daisy. No one must ever know that Daisy was the one driving the car. Gatsby is still holding on to the hope that Daisy will be with him. He's willing to take the blame for murder as long as Daisy will be with him. He's desperate for Daisy's love and acceptance to his own detriment. But Daisy won't be with him. This is a perfect escape for her. Daisy knows that Jay will take the blame for the murder of Myrtle, and she is not going to stop him from doing it. She has the privilege to hide within the safety net of her lifestyle and wealth, that she can get away with the murder and have someone else take the fall for it. That is how selfish and careless she is. The resolution. Gatsby arrives home in the early hours of the morning, and he tells Nick that he believes that Daisy will call him. She just needs time to think. He's always saying that. He asks Nick to stay up with him, and during that time, he tells Nick everything, the truth about his upbringing, the truth about his wealth, everything. George wants revenge for his wife's murder, and he believes Gatsby is the one that murdered his wife. George goes to Gatsby's mansion and kills him. After he kills him, he kills himself. The people that enjoyed Gatsby's hospitality, his wealth, his possessions, did not attend his funeral. Daisy doesn't attend his funeral either. The only person at his funeral was Nick. At the end of a fall arc, the final state of the character is either they're dead, insane, or they're left in a tragic situation. The character also leaves the side characters and the world in a terrible state. Nick Carraway becomes an alcoholic and suffers from depression and anxiety. Daisy has to remain in a loveless marriage. And the East Egg of New York remains a place where a bunch of shallow rich people use one another. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos on writing tips and books. I have free how to create your character worksheets below and other resources you can look at. The details will be in the description box below. Go ahead and watch the next video here. I'll talk to you next time. Bye!